First hot day on trail, and we are entering the never summer wilderness. It's hot. So that is the end of day 71. Every single time. It wasn't like that when I started these journals. I didn't say like, this is the end of day 4. Oh my gosh, 4 days. But now anymore, every single time I say that, into the microphone, I go, 71 days? It's reached a point where now like people will ask, it's kind of common, like we pass on trail, where are you hiking to? Where are you going? Going to Canada. Or where'd you start? Started in Mexico. How long you been on trail? 71, it feels good to say 71 days. I was talking to Hemlock yesterday about, I feel like a thru hiker. I've made videos about it before and I've talked about that before, the idea of feeling like a thru hiker. Feeling, I don't know. I barely know what I mean by it, but I feel way different than when I started this trail. That's always the case. That's part of the reason I do these hikes, is so I can go through change and, I don't know, hopefully better myself in some way. But day 71, it was a great day. Actually, I should back up because I don't think I did a narrative yesterday. We did Rocky Mountain National Park yesterday, which is kind of a funny loop. It like loops around and almost connects almost exactly where it enters the park. So most thru hikers, they actually just cut that section off. We wanted to go into the park, so the three of us, Sparkler, Hemlock, and myself, we went across that loop. It was about 25 or 26 miles that we hiked yesterday. And then we hitchhiked back to Grand Lake and stayed at the campground. That way we didn't have to carry 4 days of food into the park, and that way, I mean, we were able to have town amenities today. We didn't really have much time to do the town stuff when we got into Grand Lake 2 days ago, so gave us time to do some of that stuff this morning. Had a good breakfast this morning. Did our resupply this morning. Hemlock got his at the grocery store. I sent a box here. And Sparkler, I mean, she's just coming back to trail after 7 days off, so, or 6 or 7 days off. So she had hers already taken care of and ready to go. So today was kind of a late day. We didn't get to trail until like 11-ish, 10 o'clock, 11, something like that. Just like I said, we were dillying and dallying, doing some stuff in town this morning. Did 18.4 miles. Mellow climb. And we did go over one mountain pass, but it wasn't all that big. We've got a big climb tomorrow morning, which is actually right there. This is this little patch of dirt that I'm just pacing back and forth on. But we'll climb up that, and then basically it's 3 days of mostly downhill, so it shouldn't be too bad. And that'll put us in Steamboat Springs, not tomorrow, but the evening after tomorrow. And I think we're gonna do a hard zero. Sparkler actually has family who live in Steamboat Springs, so we're able to get a ride, and that'll be super convenient. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot to say. I always feel like after I'm done with these that there's more that I wanted to say. The same thing goes with my journals. I want to say more because over the course of the day I'm hiking and hiking and thinking, and all these things come to mind. It's cool though to have a couple of people with me who I can talk to them about rather than just letting them twist through my head like I normally do when I'm solo hiking. So super grateful as always to have Hemlock with me. I don't know if I've mentioned much on this vlog. I've mentioned it in my journals, but Hemlock will be leaving in almost a week. because he's already hiked a portion of Wyoming. He actually flipped up there before I met him, hiked that when it was cooler, and then came back to hike Colorado when there was a little bit less snow, and that's when we met. So when we get there, it doesn't make sense for him to hike that again, so he's gonna skip forward 250 miles, and it's unlikely that Hemlock and I will be able to hike again together. Sparkler, we don't really know what, we're planning on hiking for a bit. We don't really know how far, how long, what the agenda is. We're both going to Canada. We have pretty similar paces, so kind of one day at a time. Same thing it was with Hemlock when I first met. We didn't plan on hiking for an entire month. It's been over a month now that I've been hiking with Hemlock. But that's kind of the way it worked, and it worked out well, so yeah, we'll see what happens with this. I'm not opposed to hiking alone again. There's some things about hiking alone that I do miss, but I was talking with Sparkler today about how just being with other people really enhances the experience of being out here. So I'm unendingly grateful for the people that I've been able to hike with. I've actually got one more friend. I don't know if any of you remember, but I was hiking with Oakley way early on the trail, like mile 300. We're at 1,300 now, so literally 1,000 miles ago I was hiking with Oakley, and she's about one day ahead of me. I've seen her name in the trail log, and then she shot me a text message just the other day saying, "Where are you? You gotta be close by." So there are people on this trail. It's not as isolated as people say. It's funny that on the PCT, I hiked all alone the entire time, or almost the entire time, except for one buddy, a guy named Ram, who I hiked with a little bit. And that's like a really social trail. There's lots of people on the PCT. AZT, well, no, not many there. It's a different situation. Colorado Trail is a social trail, but I was hiking northbound, so I hiked that solo. And now I'm on the trail, the CDT, which is notoriously the least trafficked one. And they say if you start the CDT alone, there's a really good chance you're gonna finish the CDT alone. I think it's funny that this is the trail that I've been the most social on. So on that note, I'm gonna go get dinner with the other two. Their tents are set up right over there. I just wanna step over here so I'm not a weirdo talking to myself, which I actually am. Whatever, I think they know. So that's the end of day 71. I'll be back on day 72. Every single